Joining us now is Congresswoman Maxine Waters, Democrat of California, Chair of the Financial Services Committee. Chairwoman Waters, thank you so much for being here tonight. It's really nice to have you here.
She's cutting out.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Can you hear me, Madam Chair?
Not that well.
Uh-oh. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to send a bunch of elves over to you to fix the audio, and then we'll be back with you in just a moment. We believe we have fixed our technical gremlins. Madam Chair, can you hear me?
Barely.
Oh, well, I'll talk loud. We'll hope we work this out.
I don't know what's happening.
Oh, dear. Well, let me try this. Madam Chair, you've been asking for documents and testimony from Deutsche Bank as it pertains to President Trump, basically since he was sworn in. What are you interested in here? What is it that you're investigating there?
Rachel, would you repeat that one more time?
Sure.
I'm surprised she didn't blame the Russians. What a bad week for the activist press. Smollett, Sandman, Lara Logan, the three horsemen of the media apocalypse. They got every reporter pulling out their hair. Well, except for this guy. I think he's already moved on to his back. First, there's Nick suing the Washington Post for $250 million. It's a lot of money. But think about how much money they made off smearing him. The paper makes $100 million off digital ad sales alone. That's a lot of money, $100 million. That's more than I make in a year. How do they make all that money? Conflict, which brings eyeballs, which makes money. So I say, Nick Sandman, get your piece. You earned it. Without you, how would Chris Cuomo afford his daily waxing? At least daily. Now there's Smollett. Like Covington, it began with media-ready conflict, spiraling into a hate tornado directed at the usual suspects, which is you. Remember, Covington was a white brat in a red hat. Smollett also tapped that hat. Sadly, it turns out his white racists were Nigerian bodybuilders. Check out this pair. Their abs have abs. They got more muscles than a mollusk convention. If I had access to those washboards, I'd be doing laundry every night of the week. Smollett paid them $3,500 to pull off this stunt. Yet, he makes 60 grand a show. So forget that he's a hoaxer. He's just a cheap. Now, these cases, along with the Brett Kavanaugh smear, they need to be part of a course. Call it journalistic ethics. Something to take instead of intersectional gender studies. And I know who should teach it.
The media everywhere is mostly liberal, not just in the U.S. But in this country, 85% of journalists are registered Democrats. So that's just a fact, right? No one's registering Democrat when they're rarely a Republican. So the facts are on the side of what you just stated. Most journalists are left or liberal or Democrat.
Talk about speaking truth to power, which is why no one covered it but us. Because when the news embarrasses the news industry, it disappears faster than Taylor Swift's boyfriends. Because once the emperor's new clothes are exposed, don't expect the emperor to tell you about it. The emperor's busy blaming Fox for eating people's lunches.
Sean Hannity's going to eat Jussie Smollett's lunch every single second. Tucker Carlson is going to eat Jussie Smollett's lunch every single second.
President of the United States.
President of the United States is going to eat his lunch.
I'm getting hungry. So that's the concern. We're going to dine on Smollett? No, Lemon, we're dining on you. You believed him because you already believed all Trump supporters were racist. Smollett served a purpose for you, and you served a purpose for him. Smollett saw the media for what it was, suckers, and I kind of admire it. But if your only lesson is that Smollett was being used by us as fodder while missing the fact that he made you look like a dumbass, then you truly are a lemon. Since 2016, these media fail moments have been piling up, and the same culprits are at the scene of every crime. It's the activist media, journalists driven by an agenda, and the profit maker behind this machine is always conflict.
the idea, the racial slurs, and maybe even some of the homophobic slurs being used toward him. You can see how serious this crime is right now.
Absolutely despicable.
Smollett in real life is black and gay, which may have been the motivation for a possible hate crime against him in Chicago.
I'm disgusted by people who wear hats that say MAGA.
I don't believe Jussie is making this up.
I don't like that it's being put out there in the media that this is a possible hate crime.
Right.
And this is America in 2019.
You wish. Celebs also dove in, placing the blame where it belonged, of course, on Pence.
It feels impossible to not feel this way right now with the president and the vice president, Mike Pence, who wishes I couldn't be married. Let's just be clear. Connect the dots. This is what happens. If you are in a position of power and you hate people and you want to cause suffering to them, you go through the trouble. You spend your career trying to cause suffering. What do you think is going to happen?
She should know. I tried to sit through her last movie. That's suffering. Anyway, I wonder if Colbert will have her back on to discuss how Pence didn't help create a crime that didn't exist. Meanwhile, we all here held our tongues, even though the story stank like the bathroom after curry night at the rest home. Trump supporters stalking the Chicago streets in sub-zero temperatures at 2 a.m., carrying a noose, running into some nobody actor on a show they don't watch, and somehow recognizing him, then beating him up without taking his wallet, phone, or sandwich. This seemed as possible as me being hired as a babysitter. They didn't even take his sandwich. It was a Subway, and they're delicious. Maybe that's Smollett's next gig, Subway spokesman. It's a step up from Jared. By the way, he paid the Nigerians with a check. I mean, who still writes checks? Maybe your aunt on your birthday. Thanks for the card, Aunt Edna, and the $10. But Smollett was the perfect victim for a media that wanted this so badly to be true. So why are these hoaxes so common? Here's my thinking. All of those folks who went to college in the last decade or so are now employed in the media, and they brought with them the victimhood virus they were infected with on campus. The virus makes you stupid, naive, gullible. Did I say stupid? Yes, I did. Anyway, some people are sad Smollett was a hoax. Not me. I'm always thrilled when a hate crime turns out to be false, which means I'm thrilled a lot. It means that we aren't as racist as the media wants us to be, and we live in a country where hate crimes have to be made up because the demand for hate crimes exceeds the supply. But if you're still sad this was a hoax, it's only because it exposes how your activist bias sets you up as a willing stooge. The media owns this story. It's like they took a course on it.
Attention news professionals. Do the traditions of objective reporting bore you? Are you hungry for the profits that come with agenda-driven headlines? Then send your journalists to the Blame, Insinuate, Accuse seminar.
Now, I'm going to show you some headlines, and you're going to tell me how you would rewrite them for maximum profit. Okay? Here's the first one. Snowstorm expected to blanket Northeast.
Whites ski, the rest freeze as snowstorm reveals weather inequality.
Nice. All right, here's another one. Midwest man wins Mega Millions jackpot.
Oh, man wins lottery. No surprise to the 3.2 billion women didn't win.
Snappy. I love it. Sally, you're a natural. All right, how about this one? World War II vet celebrates 95th birthday.
Elderly white lifelong Republican voter turns 95 thanks to Russian collusion.
Nailed it. All right, next one. Church youth group holds bake sale for flood victims.
Oh, extremists use religion to poison victims with heart-clogging toxins.
Yes. Okay, multi-car accident on Toronto freeway.
Multi-car accident on Toronto freeway only in Trump's America.
House fire in Australia injures 7.
House fire in Australia injures 7, only in Trump's America.
Volcano erupts in Brazil, many injured.
Volcano erupts in Brazil, many injured, only in Trump's America?
Yes! You all passed with flying colors. I am so proud of you. Now get out there and do some journalism.
It's the Blame, Insinuate, Accuse seminar. Locations everywhere. Call today.
Let's welcome tonight's guests. If your symptoms are chronic, he's got the tonic. Host of the radio show, Dr. Drew, Midday Live, Dr. Drew Pinsky. This man really got Bin Laden to open up. Former Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill. She's only happy when she's feeling crappy. Host of the Tyrus and Tim podcast, Cat Tip. And the last time he blew out birthday candles, they had to call the fire department. Former WWE superstar, massive sidekick, host of On PC, Tyrus. Dr. Drew, you're a doctor, or so you say. I haven't actually seen your diploma. Has America turned into one big church of victimhood? What's going on?
Not only that, we get such credibility from being a victim. People want to be a certain kind of victim so badly. We're actually seeing a little epidemic of these kinds of hoaxes. They all have the same kind of construct to them, which is people want to be a victim of these things because it gives them status.
Right. It's actually, for this guy, it's better to be a victim than being a star of a show. That's insane.
It's strange. However, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this guy.
Yeah.
And he had an album dropping like a day after this whole thing. And it was all about exactly what happened to him in Chicago. And I wonder if there was a sign. Even he, listen to this, even he was shocked at how crazy the media got with his story. I think that might be the case.
All right. Rob, what's your take on this?
I am a straight white kid from Butte, Montana, who could probably be on the cover of Decent Shape magazine. So I have never been the victim of a hate crime. I've never seen it. But for someone to, it's one thing to screw up, which I don't think happened. It's another thing to make it happen. A hoax like this that takes away from actual hate crimes. Where real violence in Chicago, that's a problem. Real people who are gay or transgender getting beat up. It's a shame because now, is this real? Or is someone making this up? And I don't think personally he did it like they're saying for salary. I think he did this because he hated Trump so much. Maybe we can make them all racist to make people hate Trump more. It's just, I mean, it might sound ridiculous, but how ridiculous. I'm impressed that he got beat up and held onto a sandwich, though.
Yes.
I mean, I've been in fights before. That's the first thing I drop.
Yeah. Although I would beat them with the meat.
Well played, sir.
By the way, that can't be bleeped. Thank you. Kat, I'm being applauded for some strange sentence.
No, this whole thing confuses me. I love attention.
Yes.
Like, I love it so much that it pushes people away.
Yeah.
However, I don't fake a racist, homophobic attack on my self-love attention.
Yeah.
Like, hasn't he heard of just, like, posting a selfie on Instagram? Or, like, starting a fight with your boyfriend? Or pretending to be pregnant? These are all better ways. Or maybe, like, learning to ride a unicycle. Because you know what? That's the only reason anyone learns to ride a unicycle, Greg.
That's true.
They have invented bikes with 2 wheels.
That is true. That is true. We're going to don't unicycle riders, send the letters to Kat.
You're doing it for the attention, guys.
Yeah, all 4 of you.
Yes. Tyrus? Smearing the unicyclists. Tyrus, what are your thoughts?
Besides the fact that you literally, great monologue, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. But you certainly got really creepy in there. I mean, literally every time he made a great point, he slid in something creepy. Is anyone still stuck on the whole don't let me babysit your kids? Was that a mission, a cry for help? Like, what the hell, Greg?
Hey, Tyrus,
I hate kids.
As creepy as him saying he's going to beat the meat off my sandwich.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he'll say something like, you know, we should all be unified together and then unify in my basement. Like, he says really creepy things.
That's my...
It's all, and this is my segue. We don't have the explosion from, you know, Tyrus and Tim, you know, please subscribe.
Nice plug.
I talked to Dr. Drew a lot about this, Dr. D, so I can call you that. I was trying to figure out why he did this. Why did he, and they said salary and this whatever. And I've actually witnessed this behavior quite often in my own life, in my own home. My 4-year-old daughter.
Really?
She'll be running in the yard back and forth, and I'll be having to do work.
Yeah.
Maybe watching the ESPN report on my phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And she'll fall.
Yeah.
Like, Daddy, my leg. And I'll be like, oh, what happened? A shark. And then we'll look at me, and I'm like, a shark and a dinosaur. Oh, no, what do we do? What do we do? I don't know. They killed me to death. I'm like, oh, my poor baby. And then I gave her a hug, and guess what?
Yeah.
Where's the shark? And I think they left, Daddy. I think we're good now. So
she just wanted a hug.
He did this for a hug.
Yeah.
You should have paid those guys $3,500 to hug on you.
Oh my God.
How about the check too, by the way?
Yeah.
I think you must be in the vinyl also.
Yes.
Checks and vinyl is maybe a new thing.
We have to roll, but I do believe that it has a lot to do with naivete. The people in media right now are coming from the campus, and they can't. Everybody here, Dr. Drew, Rob Military, Cat Libertarian, Tyrus.
Watch your mouth.
Tyrus Streetwise. None of you believe this story. None of you believe this story.
Immediately.
But people that work at MSNBC, at CNN, in their newsrooms, bought it. They bought it.
And ran breathlessly with it.
Exactly. All right. We got to move on because we have so much to share with you. It's the return of the burn. And no, we're not talking about that infection I got in Mazatlan. And this old fella get the nomination if his beliefs are an abomination. Add Bernie Sanders to the island of crazed oddities looking for the Democratic nomination. He's been in politics forever and hasn't combed his hair in 35 years. Look, Bernie's a white guy in his 70s, which for the Democrats is worse than worshiping Satan. But he almost beat Hillary in the 2016 primary, so maybe he thinks he can get the nomination if she's not running. I mean, who else could do it? Kirsten Gillibrand? Who's paying attention to her?
I don't think he should back away from the bold ideas that the base and the grassroots care about. Sorry, man.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get some ranch.
Go ahead.
It would have been better if she had asked Gillibrand for the ranch. Pro tip, don't ever be the candidate standing in the way of ranch dressing. It's the best dressing ever. And what about Joe? He told an audience in Germany that America was an embarrassment. His biggest asset is that he's only stupid. Now, the nomination could end up going to a crunchy old socialist who happens to own 3 homes. Yep, 3 homes. That's 3 more homes than Kat, who still lives in a garage.
Damn.
Yeah, but it'd be fun to watch him versus Trump. What do you think, Bernie?
And its tendency to focus on side issues.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven.
People in the audience, as they approach the book, might be interested in knowing.
When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word, she can get what she came for.
And I just love you. I want to ask just a couple of things about your early life.
Oh, and she's buying her stairway to heaven.
What will Democrats do now that you are responsible and in the leadership?
There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, because you know sometimes words have 2 meanings.
There are so many people who say young people are only activists because they are millennials who are idealistic and think it's cool.
I believe I have gas. Oh, never should have had that 3-bean salad. Always comes back. Why not just have 2 beans? Always the 3 beans. Oh my God, I hope that's just gas. Maybe they'll think Pelosi did it.
Yes. All right, Rob.
Yes, sir.
Does he still have the mojo that he had in 2016?
Well, everyone's trying to get on board with the socialism thing because they put a name in front of a democratic socialism, which is a bunch of nonsense, too.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, they were bragging about, what, $8 million in a few minutes when he announced his candidacy?
Yeah.
He better be giving 70% of that to the Trump campaign, because let's share the wealth a little bit.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. And like the $300,000 on private airfare last month.
Right.
It's easy to be a socialist when you're living like a capitalist, man.
No, that's the only way to do it. What do you think, Kat, as a libertarian? Are you scared that we could have a socialist president?
I love Bernie supporters. They're like, I will not rest until every business in the country has $0. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the Democratic socialists acting like they're so altruistic. Like, oh, look at us. We want to give you this. We want to give you this. We want to give you this. Not like those mean Republicans. No, they want you to be sick, and they want you to be hungry, and then they want to kill your grandma, and then they want you to die after you watch your grandma die. It's like, no, in order to give you something, you have to actually own that first. They're not giving away their own stuff.
Right.
If your boyfriend takes you out to dinner and buys you a present,
right,
you would probably be very happy unless you found out that he used your credit card to pay for it, which is only acceptable if you are 9 and that person is your mother and you made it on construction paper or whatever. But no, I'm sick of them pretending that it's about generosity. It's not about generosity. It's about control. It's about big government, and it's about taking from people, not giving.
I agree. Tyrus, the illusion is that government services are free and the socialists are actually giving it to you when in fact it's taking from the free market.
Yeah, that's deep. That's great, Greg. The illusion is the media. And to go back, America's not walking around trying to be victims, what you talked about, what you talked about earlier. The media is painting victims and expecting the American people to buy into it.
Right.
And the Smollett thing just proved that we're still not buying that.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders is a legit contender despite CNN and the other left-leaning media's best efforts. They are pitching this magnificent group of 7 young candidates who are coming in, and then Bernie announced and raised $6 million in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Then they said, well, let's list how much the other guys made. Camilla, not bad.
Yeah.
Took her about a week. She got about $2 million, so she's strong. After that, about $6, $7, $16. I think Pocahontas owes money. Like, and that goes against their message. It was supposed to be this new left.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way they feel that they can. So you watch how this goes down. This is going to be a boring time for President Trump, and I don't know if he's going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're going to be going after Bernie Sanders for everything because he's not what they want.
That's true.
See, and that's going to be the fun story is how they keep throwing things at Bernie. Though all kinds of little stories are going to leak about him. There's going to be all these anonymous tips about Bernie's behaviors, and maybe there's a 4th house out there we don't know about. Little bastard house somewhere, maybe a little cabin.
4th house in his hair.
Hangs out with Greg Gutfeld on weekends. Like we don't know, but I guarantee you there's gonna be some stuff.
I did meet him in a park.
Here we go.
I gotta get to Dr. Drew. Last word on this.
In 2 years, old white male becomes completely non-contender.
Yeah,
just being an old white male.
I would say
That's
now. I would say
but
now.
No, I'm saying he was a contender 2 years ago. 2 years goes by, just being an old white male takes him out. That's it.
Exactly.
It's against their religion.
Up next, what kind of nicknames will Trump have for the 2020 candidates? Stick around and we pretend to have answers. That's next. I know I don't feel really that good about it, but there is that payoff. Let's remember some of his most memorable monikers.
I've given my answer, Lion Ted. I've given my answer.
Jeb Bush is a low-energy person.
You cannot take more energy tonight. I like that. Crooked Hillary. She's crooked Hillary Clinton. Don't worry about it, little Marco.
I've got more Indian blood in me than Pocahontas, Sleepy Joe Biden, Crazy Bernie, Da Nang Dick.
Lion Ted. What's your name? My name's Lion Ted Cruz. I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. That I can tell you.
So he didn't even give him a nickname, but said he could. Now, remember how many Republican candidates he had to work through to get that nomination? He picked them all off one little Marco at a time. Nicknames helped him. They're short, they get in your head, and they work. For more, we go to our junior correspondent, Susie. Susie, how are the Democrats reacting to this news?
Holy
All right, Tyrus. You've changed your name many times.
That's personal, yo. What are you talking about? I got warned.
You know what's weird about Trump is that he can choose a nickname that isn't obvious until it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, not just that. That's a news story.
Yeah.
That's what somebody brought to the desk and said breaking news. You didn't need a reporter or a source to know that he's going to call somebody names.
Yeah.
But it came. I mean, that's man, whatever.
But it's new. It's a first.
Yeah.
It's a first.
You know what?
You don't like this story, Tyrus? Would you like me to do
No,
something else?
because this is what I'm talking about, where they always talk about him when there's nothing. Just wait for it.
He's fun.
Guess what, guys?
That
He's
whole
thinking of
montage was
dissing
fun.
somebody who's running against him. Yeah. I didn't need the Hill for that.
Yeah.
I can turn on anytime he speaks, and if you say something he don't like, he's gonna clown you.
Yeah, it's,
he's a habitual name caller. We don't need breaking news. Guess what?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Doc, if he was around in the past, he would have called Abe Lincoln Grave Abe.
Oh,
he would have called George Washington Gums. Here
Or
comes
Woody.
Or Woody. Woody's good.
I know.
Do you have a nickname, Dr. Drew?
I know he won't use it, but I just keep thinking in the goal for the Capitals, Klobuchar tonight.
Klobuchar. Oh, speaking of Klobuchar, news came out that she didn't have a fork on the plane and used her comb to eat her salad. Comey Klobuchar.
I love egg salad.
Do you?
Yeah.
You tweeted about it before we got in here.
I did. I really like egg salad.
Doesn't love me. Why did you bring that up?
On the beach with my
Because that's
grandmother.
the
What
kind
the
of
hell?
salad she was eating.
Oh, was she eating egg salad?
Yeah, it was egg salad.
That's even more disgusting.
Yeah, she had a mayonnaise comb.
Who eats egg salad on a plane because there's sulfur?
It's rude.
I know. Where are we in this segment, Kat?
I don't know.
Nicknames?
I'm just jealous that Trump doesn't have a nickname for me.
Yeah, well, of course it has to be about you.
Yes.
All right. Cat
Clearly.
Timph. How about Sad Cat?
Sad cat. I was thinking SpongeBob arms would be a good one.
No, because he doesn't do physicality.
Yeah.
He won't do physicality.
Because he's smart.
Yeah,
You play with
slow
what you know.
energy
Yeah.
was brilliant. Slow with low energy, but he didn't say you were lazy. He said low energy. He doesn't like to look at the physical stuff.
I kept telling Kat, it's not SpongeBob, it's Squidworm.
Squidward.
Squidward.
Okay, Squidward.
Yeah, Squidward.
I'm just trying to figure out which Nickelodeon
calls
cartoon
himself a
character
doctor.
my body most resembles.
No, it has to be something that the audience gets immediately, and then it translates. What about you, Rob?
Well, I was talking to a friend of mine that works for Fox. I don't want to name drop, so we'll call him Dieter Boosie. But we said that Kamala Harris was apparently smoking weed to Snoop Dogg and Tupac before they were, had albums.
yes,
so we can start calling her Run DNC.
Oh!
See what I did there? Not too bad, right? Yeah, that works.
But it's
Hesher Harris.
But what?
Hesher Harris.
Yes. See, it can't be clever. It's got to be. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll be something like, hey, listen to Blunt Lady. Like, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
It's not. They've obviously never picked on people before. It's not that deep, guys. You just look at somebody, hey, vest, what's up? That means his vest is unattractive.
I got it.
Yeah. Hey, shortness, you got something to say the rest of the
Yes,
night?
I do. Cannabis Kamala. You can have that, Donald. We're on a first-name basis until he kills me. Do I have any other nicknames? I guess
personally? Yeah, you got a ton. You got more than the devil.
All right, they're yelling at me. Up next, the Alabama lady who joined ISIS and now wants to come back. Bolshevik Bernie. Still thinking these great things up. All right, she incited attack, but now wants to come back. I speak of Hoda Muthana, born in Jersey, raised in Alabama, and in 2014 left for Syria to join ISIS. She was 19 back then, got married 3 times, all to ISIS scum, had a kid with one of them, got on Twitter, encouraged killing Americans, but hey, she was only 19. We all did crazy things back then. But now the husbands are dead, and she and her baby are stuck in northern Syria. And crazy thing, she wants to come home because, yes, even New Jersey is better than a Syrian detention camp. Too easy. I love Jersey. But what about those tweets?
Go on drive-bys and spill all of their blood, or rent a big truck and drive all over them. Veterans, Patriots, Memorial Day, kill them.
It's crazy. I can't even believe I thought of that, really. It's the more I gained knowledge, the more I knew that it wasn't correct.
Well, Trump had his own tweet saying no way. The State Department says she's not a citizen and can't come back. Turns out her dad's a foreign diplomat, so she can't get citizenship. Her pop has already filed a suit. They want her to return and face America's justice system. People's court. I wonder what Hoda thinks her punishment should be. Therapy lessons?
Maybe therapy lessons, maybe a process that will ensure us that we'll never do this again. Jail time, I don't know if that has an effect on people. I need help mentally as well. I don't have the ideology anymore, but I'm just traumatized from my experience.
She's traumatized, but should she be allowed back? What do you think, cockatoo Corey?
I don't know.
Cockatoo Corey. Nickname.
There it is.
Cory Booker, Cockatoo Corey. All right.
Yep.
I just came up with it. Thank you. All right. Rob, the problem with America is we don't forgive, but we forget. In 3 years, she'll be doing commentating on some network and dating Kevin Federline.
I have no doubt she's traumatized because that was back at a time when it was romanticized to go join ISIS, be part of the caliphate. She did see a lot of bad stuff there. She is a terrorist. It's a question, she may not be a citizen here in the first place. Her son certainly is not.
Yeah.
But then you have to ask yourself, how do we get intel? How did she get there exactly? What's the process of getting through Turkey? She'll know some of the faces and names of the people who are trying to get back here through the southern border, through the northern border, back to Europe and all that things. She can probably let us in a little bit on some of the tactics that ISIS uses. And also, if we're going to defeat this radical Islamic ideology, we need Muslims.
That's true.
We're not going to be. We need people who have the experience of going there, seeing what it is, seeing what they actually do, wondering what it's like living under. Not a lot of women love living under Sharia law. Some of them that do get elected to Congress. That's another story altogether. But
that's an interesting point. You know, Doc, I'd like to see her in her first job interview in America. It's like your previous experience. Well, I was at ISIS.
Mail order bride.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt she was terrorized, and no doubt she's traumatized, and no doubt she needs some trauma therapy, and not therapy as some sort of compensation or some sort of reason that she's punished. But if she can be useful to the American government, yes. I mean, that makes sense to me. I'm a pragmatist. So,
I would too. I mean, I don't need to send her right to the gallows, but she needs to be punished.
Gitmo.
Therapy, come on.
No,
but
if you're going to
Sanctuary City.
Come to California. It's a sanctuary state. You're a sanctuary state.
She moves in. She lives with Pelosi.
Come to California.
But she's a dangerous person.
Definitely.
She's a dangerous person.
She's definitely a dangerous person. She might not be telling the truth anyway. She just
correct.
It's just a bad place. Turns out Syria is not a good place to live.
Really? Yeah. Wow, I was planning on moving. But is it possible she could be a counter agent if you guys
possibly? I'm a triple agent she uses all the time. That's how we lost some of some of our three-letter agency bases because someone says I found this guy, so bring us in, but don't worry about patting us down. That kind of stuff. So I mean, it's tough to tell, but if you can get anything out of it, like I said, some people, believe it or not, terrorists are trying to come into the country through Mexico.
Yes.
If she can pick some of them out, some of these bad actors, that could help. We don't need to set her free, but maybe she will give a message that the radical version of Islam is bad. Who knows?
All right, we got to move on. Tyrus.
I think what his first part of the statement was tremendous. I mean, there was America, if anything, we're not about redemption. And the fact that she could help. Not to mention that ugly story that the world likes to paint about the American, to show that we know what the alternative is for her.
Yeah.
And we know that life over there is not where you want to be.
Yeah.
And even though she's bad and she's made mistakes, she said terrible things about our country, America, we can find a way for redemption. We bring her in, maybe she goes to jail and does exactly what you talked about, but it's hard to say hate America when they're like, well, they did help that one woman and her children, you know what I'm saying? So I think I couldn't agree with you more. I think what you said was amazing, and more people need to have that mindset, because I had to listen to more people go, this is America, Jack, and if you come in, this is America, and she needs to die. And I'm like, you going to pull the trigger?
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'll
well, no, I'm still, hey, I got it.
I have a hard time believing because the ideology is so strong, and also I'm not sure I believe in second chances when you join. Okay, ISIS didn't start as just a little fun group. No. It started with beheadings, and she was advocating the death of innocent people, Kat. And you also know that once she gets famous, she's going to have an entourage, and like people are going to try to date her, and then she's going to end up on TMZ.
Probably.
And you're going to be very mad about that.
No, I can't be mad. This is a very feel-good story for me.
Really? Yes.
Because I may have dated a lot of losers.
Yes.
But I never dated even one guy in ISIS.
And she dated 3.
Thank you.
Well done, Kat.
That you know of. Wow. That you know of.
Way to go, Kat.
Yes, all these guys.
Kat is back. High
all
five.
these guys with no jobs don't seem so bad when they're compared to a guy who works, but works at ISIS, and she wants to come back. Yeah, no, it's ISIS. That's why you ever hear them say ISIS is bad? That's why people say that.
Yes, it's
and
true.
She can never come back. It's not like she stole candy. She's a terrorist. terrorists.
And you know what? The one thing we got to go. Even though she may not have killed anybody, she claims she didn't. By being there, she probably did some occupation that allowed the freedom for somebody else to do the killing. Like, I'll be home and prepare dinner while you behead. So she's an accessory to one of the worst crimes of my lifetime. I mean, this is as close as you get to Nazi Germany, was what ISIS did. And I do think that this is one area where I can't even say what I think. Up next, France has invented a new sport, so you know it's going to suck. Fencing has you bored? Then pick up a laser sword. The French Fencing Federation, or has added Star Wars-inspired lightsabers dueling to its list of officially recognized competitive sports. The organization, like the U.S. Border Patrol, hopes to renew interest in fencing. Current lightsaber technology hasn't quite caught up to the movies, so for now, they'll have to make do with LED tubes. But because kids today are playing less sports, the Federation hopes this crap will get them moving. Guess it beats the heck out of this. Tyrus, what are your thoughts on this?
I love it. I think it's great. Fencing is like an old guard sport. It's kind of fallen back into like really, really rich people do for their brat kids they don't want to see. So I think it's cool. I think it opens up. I wouldn't mind seeing lightsabers at the Olympics. Why not?
Kat, you are a big fan of Star Wars, so this must be right up your alley.
Right. Yeah. So there's a nerd Olympics now, essentially, where all these nerds can just poke at each other with their nerd sticks, and that's a sport. Okay, I guess there's one good thing about this, and that is that all these Star Wars super fans will finally have a reason to come out of their mom's basements. But, however, I'm a little concerned about all the Cheeto dust that's going to get on all the equipment, because these people do not eat anything that does not come out of a vending machine.
I know we got to move on, but real quick, could you describe what a nerd looks like to me, Kat? Like skinny glasses? What else?
Like somebody who's seen Star Wars.
Yeah.
I've never seen Star Wars. I am far too cool.
Why are you doing this? You just reignited a hate club that's going to come after you.
Nerd on nerd crime is fine. It won't affect us.
I may have done that, yes.
I think it's nice that the French are getting good at fake weapons because they suck at the real ones.
I would say, while Kat's ex-boyfriends may have not come from ISIS, you could find them wielding a lightsaber.
Paid for by Kat.
Yes, exactly. I think it's great. Everybody can invent sports. I invented a sport called Greg Ball. That's where I have a ball, and you pay me $100, and I give it to you. It's also stickball and racquetball, but it's the same concept with the racket or the stick. I'm going to shut up now because, frankly, I'm boring myself. Don't forget the Gutfeld Monologues Live continues next weekend in Florida. Tickets are still available for Sunday, March 3rd in West Palm Beach. Go to gutfeld.com for ticket info. Final thoughts are next.
Final thoughts. It's the last thought. That's why it's called the Final Thoughts, okay?
Dr. Drew, final thoughts?
Go to doctor.com, check out my new podcast, Dr. Drew After Dark. My wife would kill me if I didn't promote that.
Your wife is a hardcore promoter.
And I'm on their podcast now.
Yeah, Tyrus and Tim.
You're wasting our time. Rob?
Check out yourgratefulnation.org. We transition veterans to the private sector, get them really good jobs there. And then when you see a veteran out in the airports, pick up his meal, buy him a beer.
If you see me, pick up a dinner for me. I'm not a veteran, but I really do fight for this country, Rob. Some say I'm actually kind of a bigger hero than you.
I concur.
He's going to kill me. It doesn't matter. Thanks to Dr. Drew Pinsky, Rob O'Neill, Kat, Tyrus, and studio audience. I'm Greg Gutfeld. I love you, America.